What's up, guys? Welcome to the MadMen Pod. Moving things around on my desk. I'm back after a 1-week hiatus. Samir is out this week, though, and I guess it's just gonna be me and Salim shooting the shit.
Wrap it up. Exactly.
Yeah. So last week I just got super busy, and we tried doing a different time, and kids weren't going to sleep, and it just was. So I bowed out of that episode, but these guys really killed it. I loved last week's episode. It was real natural, and you guys shouted me out a few times, so thank you. I guess I still have a job. But if you're new here, my name is Adil. I am an apparel brand CEO, and we have Salim, who's a B2B marketing executive. Salim, what do you got? How's your week looking? Are you still traveling?
No, I'm here for a little while, but I've been trying to get a reservation at this New York restaurant. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's this one restaurant that's been apparently hardest to get reservations at. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, they serve whole milk while you have a steak.
Yeah, that's marketing 101 right there. If you want to learn about a marketing case study, go build a restaurant that doesn't exist. I think there's a couple of those, but no, I'm hanging out for a couple of weeks, and then I'll be out, and then I'll be on hiatus, and then y'all can go. You and Samir could have it while I sit on the beaches of Cancun for a day.
Oh gosh, so jealous. Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Men go mad.
He's gone mad.
MadMen.
You're mad.
The man's mad.
MadMen.
I'm mad.
All right, so this is our Duds and Studs segment where we talk about different campaigns and strategies, and we debate whether they're a dud or stud. So we're starting with Monopoly. Embrace your inner villain seems to be the theme for Monopoly's new campaign. The campaign is called All is Fair, and it highlights the cold reality of the players of the game, like your 8-year-old or your grandma, and for them to be the villain of the game. So it's showing an 8-year-old as a landlord, or an evil landlord at that, or your grandma who's embezzling money from the bank. So this is an interesting campaign. What do you think? Is this going to be a dud or stud, Salim?
Look, I love a campaign that could really bring out the inner player or inner participant or experience into the game. So I think what Monopoly's doing is phenomenal. And look, Monopoly is part of Hasbro, and they've got a whole list of games and a lot of other businesses. And the consumer group is where this fits. And they've been growing rapidly over the last 3 years, double-digit growth every year. And Adil, to your point, it's these Gen Zers bringing old things back and making it relevant again. I think that's what's happening here. But look, they've got different variations of the game. Every variation of that game, I looked up at ChatGPT 4 now. Bing and ChatGPT 4 all together now, and they say that there's about 3,500 variations of the game, including digital formats. So they're building the pipeline. They're building avenues. This is a great campaign to highlight different variations of the players and really focusing on that experience. And we know that very well, that experience always wins in a marketing campaign. So I think this is a great opportunity for them to win. It is going to bring the topic back over, and who knows, maybe you'll see some viral videos of people playing villain roles in Monopoly.
I can't help but think back to this one time playing Monopoly with my cousins. So it kind of put a chip on my shoulder. It kind of made me the man I am today. So I was I was playing with them, and I was down to just like a few $100s, and my older cousin made me pay him rent on a property, and I seriously broke out crying. I mean, that was a core memory. I still think about that. I was probably 8 years old or something. I still think about that because I remember that day I decided I'm not going to be poor in life. I'm good. I'm gonna make sure to have a few assets, make investments, and that feeling was pretty brutal. But I think while the core memories of this, and look, Monopoly's always done a great job of evolving and fitting the different niches across the world. There's Barbie Monopoly and Spider-Man Monopoly and whatever. There's so many different. That's the 3,500 that Salim you're talking about. It's beautiful because they all have certain role players, and villains is part of it, right? And so when you have an 8-year-old or a grandma being the villain of the game, that sometimes you embrace that. And while you're playing the game, my cousins are bad people, but they had their villainous moments, and more power to them, because that's what that's what the game brings out of people. So I'm glad that Hasbro didn't go the lazy route of anti iPad and try to make memories with your kids around the dinner table and all of that. They took it a completely different approach and went 10 steps further and said, let's role play, like bring your villain out. And I mean the artwork behind this, the video work, if you guys really look at it, it's phenomenal. I mean, they've nailed it. Like these little kids who are acting like evil landlords, and grandma who's putting money in her sock, and everything is just beautifully done. So I love that they embraced the role play that does happen in Monopoly. All right, on to the next one. So the Bachelor franchise has been struggling after the popularity of Love is Blind, Love Island, The Ultimatum, and all the other dating shows that are out there now. America was clearly over the ignorance of believing that 30-something women could be in one house fighting for one man's love. Clearly, there was some inauthenticity there. So enter Gerry Turner, America's first Golden Bachelor. The Golden Bachelor has taken their concept of the same concept that the Bachelor has multiple women fighting for one person's love. But here's the catch. They're all at least 60 years old. So these are people that are on Social Security and on a reality show fighting for each other's love. So we're not TMZ. We're not talking about the pop culture side of this, but we are talking about this as a business. So for the Bachelor franchise, is this going to be a dud or a stud?
I think part of the reason why people watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, man, where's Samir? This is like Samir's forte with Love is Blind, or whatever he watches, Love Island or whatever it was, man. I think there's just like, you watch it for the girls, you watch it for the people, hot girls, hot guys. The clientele for this type of reality show is that young crowd. So love it or hate it, that's the crowd you wanted. How many of them are gonna flip and watch The Golden Bachelor? Watching a lot of old people, I think you're going to get maybe like a couple wins for a couple episodes, but man, like this is all giving me like, not even, hate to say it, not like MILF vibes, but even grandma MILF vibe. Like, is that a thing? Like, this is like, I'm full no, man. I think this is going to be a dud, dude. I think it's going to be one or two good episodes of people watching this, and they're going to realize how entertaining can 60-year-old retired teachers and whatever the others are, retired realtors be, and then switch off and call it a day.
Salim, in front of me, if you guys are watching the YouTube video, I'm holding the Golden Bachelor bracket. We're doing this in our office, okay? I'll tell you, I watched the first episode just because I was like, let's see how this is. I loved it. I thought it was such a heartwarming, wholesome dating show. I mean, such a huge difference from everything else out there. And I think this is exactly what the Bachelor franchise needed. Look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I can't help but think that there's a greater play here. And just hear me out. So I think there might be a play at trying to normalize commitment here. When you watch The Golden Bachelor, that's the clear theme, is people actually ready to commit. I know the regular Bachelor series, they all say that, like, oh, my wife can be in this room and I'm here to fall in love and have kids and yada, yada, yada. They're all there for Instagram followers. I'll tell you, these grandmas and these very poised, mature women are not there for that. I truly think there's some authenticity here. And when you see Gerry Turner, the Bachelor they picked, he is really an amazing guy that they found. But here's the conspiracy theory part. So we all know marriage and birth rates amongst Gen Z has fallen. And it's super important for economies to continue growing, that people are getting married and people are having babies. That's just facts. But the facts of Gen Z is that 85% of Gen Z does not feel marriage is necessary. And to have a fulfilled and committed relationship, you just don't need to get married, is the consensus. In fact, 17% of Gen Z truly believe that they're never going to get married. That's significantly higher than previous generations. I think there's just this huge ploy of positioning the Golden Bachelor in talking about long-term companionship and commitment with, showing scenes of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I think there's just this wonderful thing happening where they're trying to convince America that commitment, marriage is a good thing. This wouldn't be the first.
You're not bringing Taylor Swift into this, bro. Taylor Swift, that's just a breakup song waiting to happen. I don't know if it's going to.
We'll keep it to The Bachelor, but here's really why I'm saying this, because this wouldn't be the first time it's happening. Norway did something like this many years back. So they started to notice that their birth rates were falling, and their economists were saying that, hey, we need a dependent class to, a replacement class pretty much to avoid population collapse, or they need to increase immigration or whatever. There's different science behind it that's above my pay grade. But what Norway did was they created a campaign, a public service announcement that said, go target it at young parents and young adults and go have babies for your moms. And it was a wholesome campaign that convinced young people to go and actually commit and have kids. And it actually led to a little bit of a mini baby boom. In fact, it shaped a lot of their family first policies in Norway. So this wouldn't be the first time if something like this happens. Singapore's done stuff like this. Hong Kong has done stuff like this. Wherever there has been population decline, and Americans love reality TV. So if you're really trying to get a message across, this is probably the best way to do it. So I think there's a greater reason why all of this is happening.
Man, that's a far-fetched conspiracy theory, but look, I'm not denying it. I mean, it makes a bit of a sense. You're seeing these families that are not committing anymore, and then, well, the other question to you isn't like half the Bachelor, Golden Bachelor people like second marriages? Like, aren't they going for like divorces? Are they all divorced or separated, or somebody's husband died? I think in one of them. I don't know that theory really abides. But simultaneously, you've seen similar campaigns with Tinder and Bumble, right, where they're talking about relationships and someone to get silent with or somebody to get old with. Those are campaigns that Tinder and Bumble have recently ran over this year, actually. So there is some thought that, hey, look, commitments is something that we need to focus on. People are afraid of it. People are talking about divorce too much. People are on social media hanging out with 20 different people. I don't know. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I mean, I could just be eating my words later on this, but I seriously think this is a very wholesome dating show. And I think once a year, it's okay to do. I hope they don't try to do like a back-to-back like installment of the Golden Bachelor and then the Golden Bachelorette. It'll just be kind of silly at that point. But it is really funny because in the opening scenes, they show him getting ready. Those typical Bachelor scenes, him fixing his collar and everything. And then he reaches for his hearing aid as part of the montage. It almost seems comical, but it's so authentic. Like, that's what I loved about it, that they are actually like saying that, no, these are seniors. Like, these are people that deal with hip issues and wrinkles and, like just things like that. And I don't know, it's just a breath of fresh air. I really liked it.
How many episodes are they on?
It's only been one so far.
Let's talk after episode 3 and see if you're still interested.
Okay, so speaking of episode 1 of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, so something interesting happened, and Heinz is capitalizing on it. So Heinz is capitalizing on the virality of the, quote, ketchup and seemingly ranch phenomenon that Taylor Swift started. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are allegedly dating. And while she was watching his first game, hence the first episode, she was eating chicken strips with a dollop of ketchup and a dollop of what seemingly looked like ranch. And for whatever reason, the way it was posted in this like news tweet that said, quote, Taylor Swift is shown here eating chicken strips with ketchup and seemingly ranch. And that went viral. It hit super hard. So from Mercedes's F1 Instagram page to the Empire State Building, everyone paid homage to this duality of the red and white side by side. So what Heinz is doing is they've created a mixed sauce, and they put up a mock-up on their Instagram page, and it's called ketchup and seemingly ranch. It's mixes and kind of looks like cane sauce in my opinion. But really, is this a stud or a dud of a campaign?
Look, anybody that can take a moment and run with it real fast is impressive, right? And I think Heinz is definitely doing this with that, right? I think it's their product. They have the advantage. If they don't play it, somebody else will. So the point is that if you can do this quicker than anybody else can, like there's a bunch of ketchup brands and ranch brands out there. But if Heinz can do it like they have, I think this is perfect for them, right? You got a new product on the shelves that you didn't even have to go to R&D for. You basically took what somebody else was taking viral, and people, I mean, look, if you look at just the Taylor Swift effect and just the Kansas City games, prices are up 100%. His jersey is the number one sold out jersey right now in the NFL, and I think he even hit top 5. And I think we talked about this last week too. So I'm sorry I'm repetitive, but I mean, if you just take that Taylor Swift effect and put it on anything at this point that's viral, it's going to hit home. So I think Heinz is doing a stud move right here by just taking over the voice of this product and saying, "Hey, look, we're here. We're going to do this, and we're ready to go market." And it's going to fly off the shelf.
What I'm kind of thinking about is if Heinz just did this as a mock-up and just did it for that moment, like you're saying, and saying, "Hey, look, this is kind of in pop culture right now. This would be kind of funny if we actually made this, but didn't actually make it." That would be a nice pop in brand recognition, and just have a cute IG post go viral. But the fact that they might actually be making this seems kind of stupid to me, because there's gonna be this is just the start of the saga. Like the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, her eating concession food is not going to be. This is not where it's ending. Like next week is probably going to be honey mustard and barbecue sauce. I think it's kind of dumb that if they're actually going to make it, people will forget about ketchup and seemingly ranch mixed together. I got a tangent here because this is really important. I'm really worried for Taylor Swift. I was on record on this show for saying that I want her to be president one day, and she truly has a chance to be president one day. But she's been in the mainstream media way too much. And what that tells me, if I was her PR person, I would be worried like no other. When you have Taylor Swift is great and Travis Kelce is a phenomenal player, but Taylor Swift makes more in ticket sales in one show than Travis Kelce makes all year. She's in a different level. She's normalized herself and made herself attainable almost in the sense of a celebrity. I don't buy into the whole thing that's happening on TikTok that, oh, she's doing this to help Travis Kelce's career and seeing all the guys, NFL fans' reactions and stuff. I think that's all, it's funny, but that's not what I'm trying to say here. I think Taylor Swift is way too, being seen way too much nowadays. And that kind of worries me, because that's the fastest way when you oversaturate someone's image. That's the fastest way to get tired of them. And what was happening in yesterday's game, after every other play, they were showing Taylor Swift. I mean, these channels are having a ball with this. NFL is constantly posting on their Instagram and everything about Taylor Swift. So I think there's going to be an oversaturation of Taylor Swift pretty soon if she doesn't pull back a little bit. I think let Travis Kelce play his game. If you guys are dating, cute, you guys make a great couple, but you don't need to be at every game. That's not good for your image. You go do your thing.
Hanging out with his mom too, right? His mom's there. They're swearing together. They're hanging out together. I see that.
No, I love her. I truly want the best for her. But if I'm her PR person, I would be telling her to scale it back a little bit. You don't want to be too, seen too much. That's the worst thing you can do for your image.
For the record, I just looked up the sauce. They're dropping only at the Kansas City games and like limited to 100 packs.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. We'll see him on eBay the following week.
For sure. Is that enough Taylor Swift for you today?
Yep. All right, let's go into brands to watch. This part of the show, we talk about brands to watch, brands that are maybe on their way up or on their way down or doing something really unique. So I'll go ahead and kick us off. I have been kind of obsessed with this new restaurant chain, and it's called Salad and Go. So this fast food chain can finally solve America's obesity epidemic. I'm going on record and saying Salad and Go has that X factor. They can actually solve America's obesity epidemic. Main reasons people complain about not eating healthier is the cost of it or the inconvenience of it. And Salad and Go is pretty much debunking both of those reasons. They have a very simple menu, small footprint of a restaurant, no dine-in. It's literally just like the name suggests. You get into a drive-through, you order your salad, and you go. The salads are under $6. The drinks are all $1.89. You can get cold brew, Arnold Palmer, cucumber mint lemonade, really tasty drinks. They have filling wraps that are under $4. Every item has calories listed, and that's not much of a differentiator, but they really are doing a great job. You see the protein on them. You see, they're making sure they're putting health first, and they're making it very affordable. So they have 57 locations in Arizona, 3 in Nevada, 48 in Texas, and 8 in Oklahoma. I think these guys can honestly make a huge splash across the country. I love that they're starting in the South, where you hear obesity rates are the highest, and they really have done a great job. I love the simple menu. I think they can really hit it right, and their branding is beautiful too. Have you seen it, Salim?
Yeah, my wife goes there all the time. We have one right, like literally down from the street from my house.
Us too.
Here's your challenge in your obesity problem is ranch. As fact of our Heinz conversation about 5 seconds ago, the problem in a lot of these scenarios, and I'm a health junkie, and you know that, right? So the problem is usually the dressing. So I don't know if Salad and Go is going to change the obesity problem if they still carry traditional ranch. Maybe if they added a low-fat ranch. Like I'm looking at their nutritional menu, it's ranch by itself has 22 grams of fat, 200 calories per 2 ounces, and nobody puts 2 ounces of salad dressing on anything. So, but look,
they give a big pack of ranch.
Yeah, there you go. See, but no, I get. I mean, from a cost perspective, these guys are doing something amazing. Like that price point is crazy. I literally had lunch today at Kava, bought a salad at Kava, and it was like $12. So half the price for basically the same kind of ish products. No, I'm sure there's some organic, funky, pull the grass from the backyard type of scenario happening at Kava. Supposedly, I mean, they are publicly traded now. But I mean, they're popping up everywhere, and I mean, like I said, my wife goes there all the time, and the price point is on point. So, are they gonna be one of the next big franchises? Absolutely, I think it's gonna be a hit home run for those guys. So I'm watching them as well.
Yeah, their headquarters is in Dallas. I reached out to their CEO. We haven't set a date to meet, but I really want to know their whole strategy because I'm fascinated by it. I think this could actually be a huge brand, and it's not just because I like everything. Just they're doing it the right way. They're pricing it right. They're keeping it simple. It's just a very, very simple approach to eating right. The dressing is a problem, but I never get the dressing. I literally tell them I don't need it, and leave the croutons off the wrap, and I'll say those things. But this is a start, Salim. It's a start. Be kind to our Americans.
Yeah, you go to Europe and you eat. Like I feel like I ate so much in Europe, and I didn't come back gaining any weight. Like it was just something about the food there is different.
Speak for yourself, man. I gained so much weight in Italy.
Fair enough. I didn't get pasta all the time, but yeah. Had another state. Oh, are they a franchise? Is it a franchise model or is it a corporate model?
I actually didn't even go that far. I think it might be corporate, man. I don't know. I'll find out if I get to talk to him.
Sounds good. Have him on the show.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Invite him to the show. We do have a couple guest guys for everybody listening. You'll hear about them soon. But we got a couple guests queued up to join the show, so hang tight. They're coming. So my brands to watch, guys. The world is finally going to get a true iPhone competitor. Unfortunately, it's not going to be there for at least another year at least. So OpenAI is in talks with Johnny Ive. And if you know who Johnny Ive is, he's the former chief design officer for the iPhone at Apple and SoftBank to build an OpenAI-powered mobile phone. They're looking to raise $1 billion for this project and will easily do it with the way that they're going today. In addition to that, OpenAI just closed its last funding round, and the Wall Street Journal evaluated them at close to $80 to $90 billion. It's got to be the fastest growing company that we've ever seen. And they already got partnerships with Microsoft, which basically owns 40% of the company, I mean, they've got integrated plugins. My marketing team is like building like Canva images through ChatGPT. They just tell it what to do and it builds it. It's crazy. Now with that, ChatGPT 4 advancements, I mean, you can do it with images now. You can talk to it. You got DALL-E still in the play. I mean, this company is going so fast. It's crazy. So definitely the brand to watch is OpenAI for me. I know it's a little late to the game. I mean, people have been watching it for a while, but I mean, they're just on next level right now.
I was really bummed with the iPhone 15 update. I thought it was very mediocre. I was really excited thinking that they're going to do something. But I think when you've built yourself to be such a necessity, you don't really need to innovate that much. So SoftBank needs a win right now. They've had some really horrible investments that have been public. And so hopefully this, John Ive, and then, ChatGPT solve it. I think Android should be more worried in this case because this is probably going to attract a tech savvy user. And that's what Android kind of banks on. So, unless they decide to work with Android on this in the production.
You never know. I mean,
well, they have Microsoft. Why would they need Android, right?
Yeah, Microsoft can come back with a phone, you think? Microsoft phone? Powered phone? Don't they own Nokia? Who owns Nokia?
Yeah, Microsoft. No, Nokia did the Surface, their Tile phone or the Surface phone.
But somebody bought Nokia's assets. Oh, HDM Global bought them after a while. So so they sold to Microsoft back in 2014. So there is a chance. There's some Nokia assets sitting with Microsoft that could come out with. Man, that would change. That would put Microsoft back on the. Ooh, that's a good route to be. That's crazy. Sam Altman doesn't have any shares in the company.
Yeah. This last round selling to Microsoft, that was his way out to say like, hey, I got my exit. I'll run the company. But I think there's AI regulation that's going to be inevitable. I hope so, at least. Jesus, like this is scary how good AI is getting. I don't know why he decided to position himself out of the company that way.
I'm sure he sits on other boards and stuff that'll give him what he needs. It's interesting to see the way that this is evolving and the way that Sam Altman is running the point. Right? And that might be it, right? That might be his way to talk to Congress and the government to say, hey, look, I have no interest in the company. I work for the company, right? So here's my take on all this stuff. So hey, you never know. There's a plan.
So I think that's the show. What would you say, Salim? What do you think?
It's a wrap. I think it's a great show. It's a wrap. Thank you very much.
All right. Stay fabulous, guys.
Ciao.
Men go mad.
He's gone mad.
MadMen.
You're mad.
The man's mad.
MadMen.
I'm mad.